Let's start take our attendance. Today, as we said, we're gonna make a kind of revision about lesson 2 of chapter 18. We talk about telescopes. So in the first section, we studied the history of of astronomy as an original science and how it is evolved over time. Then we passed to the second section, which talk about the different types of telescope, the main tool that help us to study the universe or to study the space. So, do you have any question regarding to this lesson before we start our question, guys? So if you just know the answer, raise your hands, okay? And if you have any question or something is not clear, you can pause me and ask. So let's start by first question here. He asked, what is one advantage of reflecting telescope? So just here, only one. Guys, please share. What is one advantage of reflecting telescope? What make the reflecting telescope better than the refracting one? Okay. Yes, boom. Yes, Uta.
They use smaller mirrors.
It's use smaller mirrors. Okay, so here that the point. So we said, so in just a minute, that could be, but there is a better answer here, Otto. Could you find the answer? What the better answer here?
They focus better and
Yeah, the
perfect
perfect,
image.
yes, the focus perfect image. Okay, so that's the idea here, guys. As we said, just a quick revision for you. We have two types or two general types of telescope, optical telescopes and non-optical telescope. Optical telescopes, they are telescopes which are working by gathering light, which is the visible part or the visible spectrum or the small portion of the electromagnetic radiations that already emitted from the different objects in the space. While the non-optical telescopes, they are telescopes which are gonna record or they are gonna gather the different electromagnetic radiations that are produced from different objects in the space, like the X-ray, gamma rays, ultraviolet, infrared, radio waves. All these waves are already emitted from different objects in space, but actually most of them are plugged by the atmosphere and doesn't pass to our Earth. So scientists in the beginning they start to gather light by using a reflecting and refracting telescope. Refracting telescope work by lenses, while reflecting telescope works by mirrors. The problem with refracting telescope that if you need to study far objects, you need to use a huge lens, and once the lens size increases, that will be too heavy, and the thickness of the lens, okay, will make the image become blurry or not clear. So that means the refracting telescope is limited or has a certain limit that cannot be more powerful than this regarding to the diffraction of light which happens. So in that case, scientists they made something called the reflecting telescope. So instead of depending of light refraction, they depend on light reflection. So they start to use mirrors, and mirrors as huge mirrors still have the same thickness. Okay, so it's not a big deal, and it could be supported easily, so it will not be a big problem regarding to the weight or the mass of that mirror. So it's better here, and it will make the image focus more perfect. So that's here why the advantage of the reflecting telescope better than the refracting telescope, because they focus perfect image or make the image very clear. So let's pass to question number 2. What is each color of the of light on the electromagnetic spectrum? Yes, Sama.
D.
Yep, a different wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation. So here, like this, we said that the spectra, we would say that the electromagnetic spectra, it means the different waves, okay, that are produced from any object. This wave have different wavelengths, different frequencies, okay, and different speed. So each spectrum is represented by a single wavelength. That means each wave which has a specific wavelength could be considered as a spectrum, okay? For example, in the visible light, okay, visible light alternate between the red color to the violet color. So what make the red color different than the violet, different than purple, different, sorry, than violet, different than orange, green, blue, all the 7 spectrum colors? That each color of this spectrum colors, they have specific wavelengths and specific frequency. Okay, guys? Is it clear? Is it clear,
Yes.
guys? Yep. So
Yes,
let's
miss.
pass to question 3. Which of the following types of electromagnetic radiation is plugged by the Earth's atmosphere? What kind of this radiation somehow is plugged by the Earth's atmosphere? اسمي هاد
Microwaves.
microwave. Actually, microwave is not that part of the radiations in the atmosphere. Okay, so we could find. Try another one. Head. Okay, Laura.
A.
A
X-rays.
X-rays. Good. Okay, so actually, guys, here microwaves. Microwaves is not this waves. Okay, is not involved in the waves. Okay, that are radiated, or that's much radiated. Okay, from the celestial objects. So infrared and visible lights, both of them, they could pass to the that we somehow get some of the infrared, not complete amount of infrared radiations, but we receive infrared radiations. Okay, so the X-rays, okay, that the rays which completely blocked by the atmosphere. So let's here pass to question number 4. Why do astronomers put telescopes in the space? What make astronomers prefer to put telescopes in space that, rather than putting them on the Earth's surface? Is Farah Hashim?
It's letter B, to get closer to objects in space.
To get closer to the object in space, actually that's not a big deal. Okay, because already the idea of the telescope that is gonna provide a closer image. Okay, so if I'm gonna go closer to the object, that will not be the purpose of the telescope. Why I should put them in space? What do you think, guys? And Yasser?
Mister, I know.
Okay, Farah?
It's C, to avoid
See,
interference
yeah,
from.
to avoid the interference from the Earth's atmosphere. As we said, most of the waves that are really passing from the space to our Earth, they're gonna be plugged or somehow reflected or refracted by the atmosphere, which make the amount of radiation that emitted from an object in space not or don't reach our Earth completely. So that will not give a fine details about the different objects in the space. So science find out if we put the telescopes in space, so they will get all the radiation that produced from an object in the space, which make more details or give fine details about these objects, and we could give us a lot of observations that we cannot receive it on our Earth's surface. So here, let's pass to the question number 5. What does a telescope collect from space and focus for closer observation? Okay. Yes, Abu Talib. Again, question number 5. What does telescope collect from space and focus for closer observation? Once we put a telescope in space, what is going to gather from these? Yes, Abu Talib. Where did you, okay. So,
Mister,
yep,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
B.
So, B, yes, of course, collect electromagnetic radiations, okay. So here it's electromagnetic radiations. Good. So the different radiations which are produced from objects. So question number 6. What is an advantage of reflecting telescope? One more time. What makes the reflecting telescope better? Okay, is the Plina?
A.
Oh, no, okay, it's the same point. Here we just okay say what make it better. Okay, that is okay. It can gather more light. So actually, the problem not about gathering more light. The problem is that lens could gather a lot of light, but unfortunately, this light once they are gathered, they will not be that clear. Okay, so here we said that it can focus image perfectly. Okay, question number 7. What make up electromagnetic spectrum, guys? So let's find here new. Yes, Hannah Yasser?
C. All of the wavelengths of the electromagnetic radiation.
Yes, all the wavelengths of electromagnetic radiation.
Yeah, Mr.
Yes.
When you called me the other time, I was here, but I didn't answer in time.
Okay, no
But
problem. No problem.
okay.
Okay. Question 8, guys. Which of the following is not a type of electromagnetic radiation found in the electromagnetic spectrum. What of these don't be considered as a wave that could found in the electromagnetic radiation? Okay, so I think this one is easy somehow. Okay, so let's find here. Ritaj, yes?
D.
D, of course, ocean wave. Okay, so ocean wave actually it is not electromagnetic wave at all. Okay, so like this, guys. Okay, let's pass to the next types of question. Okay, so let's start to complete this statements. So the type of telescope to use to prevent image from getting blurry is, so what kind of telescope is used, okay, to just fix the problem of blurring image of refracting telescope? So that would be, let's find just three, four. What about the others, guys? Try to share. Yes, Sama?
Reflecting telescope.
Yes, good. So reflecting telescope. So then pass to the next question here. Many astronomers prefer to use space as it can focus image more clearly. So they prefer to use which one? Yes, Muhammad Yasser?
Reflecting telescope.
Yes, reflecting telescope. Then many astronomers prefer to use space as it flow in the glass do not affect the light gathered. Okay, so what the answer? Yes, Bhumika?
Refracting telescope.
Which one?
Refracting.
Refracting. So ref, huh?
Reflecting.
Reflecting. Just we said that they are the same meaning, okay, as flow in the glass do not, okay, affect the light gathering, because actually the light will be reflected, it will not pass to the other side like what would happen in the lens in the refracting telescope. So also reflecting. Okay, then let's pass to question number 12. Gamma rays, ultraviolet light, and radio waves are frequencies of electromagnetic radiations found on the, okay, yes, Adham?
Electromagnetic spectrum.
Good, electromagnetic spectrum. So then question 13. Non-optical telescope are used to study the types of light on the space that we cannot see. Okay. So what here? Okay. Non-optical telescope are used to study the types of light on the, yes, Hanahani?
X-ray.
Just X-ray.
No, there is
Mister, I know.
also.
So what we call
I
all
know,
of
I know.
them?
1 second.
Take
We'll
your
call
time.
them
All these
um,
radiations, we call them?
electromagnetic radiations.
Yes, good. Electromagnetic radiations, good. Okay. So
Okay.
electro. Good. So then here pass to this question. What is the advantage of the radio, okay, telescope, of linking radio telescope? As we said that we have a lot of radio telescopes now found in different areas, okay? So what is that, the leverage that we get, okay, once we connect all these radio telescopes together or link them together, what the leverage we get, guys? What do you think? Who can answer this question? Yes, Farah Mahlab?
They function as a single telescopes and give us clear images.
Yes, good. Okay, so they could work as a single telescope that provide us about more details of the objects in the space. So they give more or fine details and more observations. Good here. So we said that when radio telescopes are linked together, they act as a very large unit and they more powerful. so they could make more observation and extremely fine details about the objects and the space. So that's very clear. Okay. Any hard question here, guys? Any question until this moment, guys? Everything is clear?
Yes.
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 So let's pass to question 15 here. He asked, what type of telescope would you detect, or would you use to detect the extremely small object in the space?
Can I
If you
answer?
so here let's find the new yes no
Non-optical telescopes.
non-optical telescopes. Yes, so we are just gonna select one of the non-optical, maybe X-ray telescope or maybe a radio wave telescope. One of the telescopes which depend on electromagnetic radiations with a long or large wavelength. Okay, so here like this guy we said as choose. So we're gonna select one of the non optical telescopes. So as we said here, the answer may vary from one of you. So simple answer, you can use the X-ray. Some others could say radio wave. Okay, so both are true. Okay, because they are sensitive. Okay, telescopes that mean they have large wavelengths. They could reach further places. Okay, and they could detect the small objects. So like this, guys, we know the difference between the optical telescopes and non-optical telescopes and how we can use them. So any hard question regarding to this lesson, guys, or something's not clear?
No, thank you.
No,
Everything
thank
is
you,
clear,
Mr.
are you sure?
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
So please study the lesson 1 and lesson 2 very well, okay? And if you have any question or something is not clear, I'm available all the time. You can send to me your questions. I'm gonna answer you. So any question before we end our meeting, guys?
No.
No, thank you.
No, thank you, Mr.
Okay, good luck. Good luck, guys. Thank you.